How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel for another Battlefront 2 ranking video. And in this video we will be ranking all of Battlefront 2's reinforcements from the worst to the best for the final time. Now before we get into that, this video is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Without a VPN, you risk your personal information every single time you go online because you have an unencrypted internet connection. All it takes is one mischievous hacker and your private information like passwords or your bank details can be accessed. As someone who runs their career online, this is something that I personally take very seriously. So when you connect to ExpressVPN, your connection becomes encrypted and your IP address is hidden. And that's not all it does. Now, I know a lot of you guys are from America, and if you aren't happy with American Netflix or you've run out of stuff to watch, you can actually change your location to a ton of different countries. You can even change it to Taiwan if you really wanted to, and then explore their Netflix content. And ExpressVPN also has faster speeds than any other VPN. Now, you can actually get 3 months of ExpressVPN for free by heading to expressvpn.com/TheAussieJedi. The link, of course, will be in the description below. Definitely check it out, guys. And a massive thank you to ExpressVPN for sponsoring this video. Now, as always, guys, these rankings are just my opinion, and it's safe to say that no reinforcement in Battlefront 2 is bad. So don't be fooled by low rankings. But now, let's dive on into this. So kickstarting it off and coming in at number 15 is the Ewok Hunter. Now, the last time I ranked reinforcements, these guys were relatively high, but that may have been the hype talking. They are still good, don't get me wrong. Like I said, don't be fooled by low rankings in this video. I think all the reinforcements are good. But I think that the Ewok Hunter is just maybe missing a little something. It just doesn't have that X factor that I look for in a reinforcement. Like, sure, some of the abilities are super unique and the size of the Ewok makes them harder to hit, like Yoda, but the aimbot that is there for the bow, it's pretty weak, and the sniping requires a lot of charge up time. So the Ewok Hunter, like I said, isn't bad, but it does have to come in at number 15. And on to number 14 is the ISB Agent. Now, I love the meleeing that you can do with the ISB Agent, the kicking, it's awesome. And the assault training ability is great for making a quick getaway from a hero, combining that with 50% damage reduction. The Imperial Intel ability is a nice little wall hack, and the W effort ability is a good team support ability. The ISB Agent lacks in anything really devastating to enemies, but somehow still remains good. It might be the dual RK3 blaster pistols and the power blast that you can do, I'm not sure, but I just think that the ISB Agent is solid without being anything too crazy. Now, coming in at number 13 are the Jump/Jet Troopers. Now, I feel like most of them just don't differentiate themselves enough to be ranked separately apart from, the blasters. Except for the First Order Jet Trooper, which we will get into later in the video. Now, these guys are good. They have great mobility, which is their X factor, and a skilled player can get some really nasty streaks with them. But when it comes to going up against heroes, the low health leaves these guys very vulnerable to be 1 or 2 hit by a hero. So although they are great and their mobility is amazing, they do come in at number 13. And on to number 12 is the Cafex Spy. Now, the Cafex Spy is a mixed bag. I think the scanner beacon ability that turns into a remote bombardment from the sky is an incredible ability and can really do some damage, especially for a reinforcement. And the rapid fire is incredible if you are accurate, but I just don't know how I feel about the truncheon melee strikes. I feel like they mess you up more than anything because you have to get so close to use it, and the Cafex Spy isn't exactly packing much health. But that's about my only real downside to them. I still think the Cafex Spy is a mixed bag, but it does have 2 incredible abilities. But coming in at the number 11 spot now is the First Order Jet Trooper. Now, I rank these guys apart from the other Jump and Jet Troopers because they are unique. These guys can hover in place, allowing to really cause some issues from the skies, which is something that I actually really love about them. It adds something really neat to the gameplay. As for their jetpack tackle, it works so much better now with the updated controls, and their tri-barrel launcher, I feel like it's kind of underpowered, but when you get like a group of enemies together, spraying that down on them is just never not satisfying. I really do think that the First Order Jet Troopers were an amazing addition to Battlefront 2, and I'm glad that DICE done something different for them and just didn't do another copy and paste. And now moving on to number 10, we have the Flame Trooper. Now, I've basically had these guys dead last for so long in my reinforcement ranking videos, but these guys lately I've actually been really enjoying them. They do have an obvious downside, so I'll get that out of the way, and that's of course their range. They're only good for certain maps and up-close situations, but when they are suited to the map and the situation, they can cause some real carnage. They can just fill hallways with fire, and the damage output is really damn good. The overload ability just allows you to just spam that damage and spam that fire in those hallways, and the Flame Trooper has an alternate fire mode now, which is great. It's not bad, but it's not exactly amazing or anything, but it adds something to the Flame Trooper. Honestly, the Flame Trooper, in my opinion, has actually gotten much better, so it's climbed up the final rankings. But now inside the top 10 at number 9 is the B2 Super Battle Droid. Now, I have been harsh on these B2 Super Battle Droids in the past, but they are actually pretty great. The only real fault I have with them is their lack of mobility, but these guys just excel in popping overload and fortify and just hammering fire in interior maps, plus wrist rockets. You gotta watch out for them. But now coming in at the number 8 spot is the Droideka. Now the Droideka has been up and it's been down, but I think they are in an alright state now. I do wish they were maybe a little bit more powerful, because they are pretty powerful in the films and the Clone Wars, but they they do the job in Battlefront 2, I'll give them that. I love Rolly Boy mode and unleashing with overload and the shield, but the transformation from Rolly Boy to normal and vice versa still results in death a fair bit. I wouldn't have minded the animation being sped up just a little bit more, but I love the Droideka, definitely my favorite piece of environmental clutter, that's for sure. But moving on to the number 7 spot is the Commando Droid. Now, I love the enhanced dodges for the Commando Droid and basically everything else, but I think their blaster damage is a little bit underpowered right now. But it doesn't ruin them entirely, obviously, as they wouldn't be this high if they did. The Vibro Sword is awesome, and I still can't believe they actually added it to the game. That's just so cool. And because of it, you can to a degree go head to head with heroes, and the thermal vision and smokescreen combination is just amazing. I really do love the Commando Droids overall, but I wouldn't mind a tiny buff to their blaster. So now at the number 6 spot is the Wookie Warrior with their new Ground Slam ability. The addition of the Slam ability replacing the Fortify was an interesting decision, but I think it's better because it adds more to the reinforcement gameplay, as a lot of reinforcements have a Fortify ability already, so it's not bad. As for the Thermal Imploder, it's amazing as always, and the Overload ability allows for really high damage output with the Bowcaster and really accurate shots too. The Wookie Warrior at times has been better than heroes, but I think they've got the balance just right now. And now coming into the top 5, and at number 5 is the ARC Trooper. I really love the ARC Trooper, I always have and I always will. The dual wielding is amazing, the blaster reconfiguration so you can fire faster is great too, and the shock trap is awesome and gives you a fighting chance against heroes that you come up against. Not to mention, it makes infantry practically helpless, knocking them to the ground. And of course, the helmet scanner, it's a wall hack, which lets you flank and get a good idea on what's going on so you can capitalize. And not to mention, the secondary fire on the blasters. Who doesn't love that? But coming in at number 4 is the OVC Gunner. Now, when the OVC Gunner first came to the game, I had it at the number 1 spot as it was just OP as hell. They did get a nerf, but DICE thankfully didn't go overboard with it, and I think they're balanced now. But they are still really, really good. Sentries in this game are powerful in general, and that's what this reinforcement is based around, so you can't go wrong really. And the updates to the controls for the charge ability have made it much better to use. I think all round the OVC Gunner is a perfect reinforcement. And now moving on to number 3 is the Clone Commando. I've got to say, I have been really enjoying using the Clone Commando lately. Clone Commandos are the coolest clones that there is, so getting to use them in Battlefront 2 is so cool in itself. But in my opinion, they are playing the best they ever have since they came into the game right now. Their blaster is a complete laser at close range. The battle focus ability is great for the carnage that you'll surely face when using the Clone Commando. And the anti-armor attachment is great for killing those annoying ass players that sit in vehicles the whole game. Plus the repulsor blast gives you a damn good chance in a one-on-one against a hero. So all round, the Clone Commando is just amazing. But the runner-up at the number 2 spot is the Death Trooper. Now, I believe the last time I'd done a reinforcement ranking back in January or February, the Death Troopers was actually number 1. So it has been dethroned. Now, the Death Trooper blaster did get changed to the E11D, which I think was a great decision, giving them the actual blaster from Rogue One. But I just think that overall, the Death Trooper has no flaws. The Sonic Imploder really has grown on me, it's actually amazing, and the Overload and Fortify combination allows for some blaster spam to rinse enemies. I really don't think there is anything that I would realistically change about the Death Trooper. I think they are a flawless reinforcement. But coming in as the best reinforcement in Battlefront 2, in my opinion of course, is the Sith Trooper. Now, not everyone is going to agree on that, and that's totally fine. A week ago, I wouldn't have agreed with it either. They just feel so good to use. You don't feel weak. There's always an ability to capitalize with, and the STW-48 blaster is just so damn satisfying to use. I love it. The Oppression Grenade as well, it is amazing, especially on smaller scale maps. You can get some serious damage done with that thing. You've also got yourself a handy little wall hack with the Seeker Tactics ability, and if you want, you can combine that with the Combat Rush, which boosts your speed and you can get a real serious flank going. It's honestly strange because the ISB Agent and the Sith Trooper realistically aren't all that different on paper, but when you use them in game, the difference just feels like night and day. And like I said, I only really just decided to change them to number 1 before recording this, and I gotta say I stick by it. I think right now, and probably for the rest of Battlefront 2's lifespan, the Sith Trooper is the best reinforcement in Battlefront 2. But that is of course just my opinion. You guys know how these things work. This is just a bit of fun. Don't take it as gospel. Don't take it as too serious. If you don't agree, that's fine. Just go ahead and let me know your favorite reinforcements in the comment section below. And if you did enjoy this video, then be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as we press on to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And lastly, a big thank you to ExpressVPN for sponsoring this video. Be sure to follow the link in the description to go get yourself 3 months for free. But that is going to do it for this video, so thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you all again in the next one.